Welcome to 2023.
Welcome to Are You Triggered Yet in 2023?
Welcome to this year's themes. Hang out with your wang out.
And compound interest. New year, new triggers.
Yeah.
Okay,
New
go.
year, same us.
Pretty much. New year, worse us? I'm just kidding. Let's not call that in. I've just been feeling very weird lately. And I think I've discovered it's because I'm bored.
And because Floofy is no longer with us.
Yes. R.I.P. Floofy.
And by Floofy, I don't mean a raccoon. I mean focused life force energy. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. And if you don't, I don't care.
I think we all feel it here, so.
So today's episode, we gave a Messy update, a David update, of course.
Gotta have those. Yep.
Check.
And we also talked about 2023.
And 2022. And we sang a lot.
This is more of 2022 because
Yeah.
we talked about, Kristen has these sheets that we fill out every year. Well, I've only done it a couple times. And it's basically things that we learned, things we like to do over the year. We shared a couple
moments,
of them.
funniest moments.
Yeah, we shared a couple of them in this podcast. It was fun. I really enjoy doing these. So.
I know, me too.
Right, I love it. Yeah.
We sang a lot.
We did. Would you like to hear more? Probably not.
Well, if they don't, then they probably shouldn't listen any further.
I mean, I don't want to tell people because I feel like a lot of people don't want to listen to people saying random shit.
We never sang that, though.
Random shit?
Yeah.
Next one. Question for you. I forgot it.
I would also like to point out that I'm wearing a blazer with this paint-stained shirt and camo sweatpants.
It's lovely. And I'd like to point out that I almost fell off my stool in the podcast.
Yeah.
But I do have a question for you because I know we kind of talked about it before, and this could be a whole episode, but I don't want it to be, so I'm just going to bring this up now. Do you think gratitude could be toxic positivity?
Absolutely not.
I 100% agree with you. Because I think you can find, there's a difference of like, you know, when shit's going wrong, or like if you're feeling like crap, like everything's fine, everything's great, like I feel so grateful for every shitty thing that's going on in my life right now. It's like, well, no, you can find the silver lining, and you don't have, it's not like you're ignoring all the crap or you're ignoring your feelings, because you shouldn't do that.
And I think that regardless of what is going on in your life, there is always something you can find to be grateful for.
Exactly. And the more often that you're looking for it, the more you will see it. The more you will see that silver lining, the things that are good, so you're not getting lost in all the crap. I need to do gratitude practice. That's hitting me right now. Like, I need to do that because I haven't for a couple days. There was, like, I always like to talk about when I was in a job that I hated, and I'd go into work, and, like, the first 5 minutes, I'd be like, okay, this is going to be a good day, and I'd get there, and then after the first 5 minutes, I was like, I'm done. I just want to go home. Like, I'm so done with this. And when I started bringing gratitude into it, I started focusing on all the little things I could be grateful for throughout the day. It helped so much. Yeah, I still didn't want to be there, and I still wanted, it didn't make it go away. I'm like, oh, I'm happy to stay here.
You still ended up
100%, but it helped me get to that point where I was ready, instead of being the point where, like, just, like, get up and leave halfway through the day, like, that's it, I quit, because I was almost there. But it helped me open my eyes to the good, like, let's say
different relationships and conversations.
The coworkers that I like to see, or the regulars when someone made a joke, or like, oh, I like this aspect of this job, even if it's like clicking something open, like something so small, but it made such a difference. It helped me get to where I needed to be.
Clicking something open.
I worked in a computer. I guess I should be more specific. I was like, if I was opening up a program.
Bring your gratitude to work day.
Ooh, okay. I think we should just get into it because I'm done.
Okay, enjoy the episode.
We haven't showered in 5 days, manifested anyway. Every day's a payday. Wait, what the fuck did Chris just say? Messy's in the hole, I bet. Come hang out with our furry friends. Kortney's gonna leave again. Are you triggered yet?
Okay.
What
is it? You've been teasing me.
So I'm going to start off with a messy update first. I got to spend New Year's with Messy Pants. She was out of torpor for the night, and I haven't seen her in a while, and she's so flippin' little. I think I haven't...
Do you want to remind people who Messy is, just in case they've missed a couple? Or maybe this is their first one.
Maybe. Messy is my raccoon. Rehabilitated her. She's released. We're not keeping her against her will.
She's released, and right now she's in torpor. The shop is what I was going for. She's in torpor.
Torpor is their form of hibernating, and yes, I don't know if she's in the shop. Especially after yesterday, Greg and I working in there, I wouldn't be surprised if she packed her nuts and left. Because, the smell of the fumes between the propane on the forklift.
In there when he was, running the truck forever.
Yeah. I don't know. Because there was footprints going into the shop the last time, before... when she came out of torpor, but I don't know. I seen her go up the ladder. I didn't see if she left because there's not much snow, so I can't track her as easily. But I haven't seen her in a while. So they gain a lot of weight in the fall, and then over the winter they sleep more and slim down, and she's so little. I think seeing that other raccoon really put into perspective how she's just a little baby.
Oh. Yeah, I guess
Even though she was really large before.
She was large, but
large and in charge.
She's not even a year.
No. Little messies. So that's the messy update. Got to bring in the new year with her, and I loved it.
Perfect.
And now for a David update.
Oh, Dave, is this what you wanted to tell me?
So, David still doesn't know. I made a photo book for my mom and dad for their birthdays this year.
Oh, it's in
In the photo book, there is a 2-page spread of photos of Kortney and I, where at the top it says, Kristen Kortney, start a podcast. It has the podcast picture, I believe, that says, are you fucking triggered yet?
Without
the fucking
swear word, but yes.
But, and so he hadn't
stool.
looked at it. Be careful, do you need a helmet?
Could I? Yeah, that'd be great.
Greg has a lot in the shop. Hard helmets.
Okay. Nice.
So, he hasn't seen this photo book. He's looking through it, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, our podcast is in this book. And him and Christy are looking at it. And he flips, he's like, you guys look like hillbillies in this pictures. And then
the ones when we're in the motorhome.
Yeah.
Great pictures.
They're my favorite. He flips the page.
He didn't even read it then. He just looked at the pictures.
And the one picture has words on it. Does he not know how to read, I wonder?
I think he knows how to read.
I know he does, but still.
Does he know how to read?
Does he? I just could not believe it. I think my jaw is still on the floor over there.
Someday he's going to listen to this podcast episode. Because he's going to be like, once he finds out, he's going to, do you think he'd go back and listen to every single one? And then he's going to get to this one, and he's going to hey, it's a year later, hey, what you said? It was not very nice. So, but yeah, it's so funny, completely missed it.
Yeah. And surprisingly, no one brought it up when we were there. Not really surprisingly.
Yeah.
I don't think Mom advertised.
We don't talk about it ourselves, so no one else really does.
I think just Mom listens. I don't even think Dad listens, but I don't know for sure.
So he's not really a podcast person.
And I don't even know if Mom's up to date. She hasn't said. She brought it up. Maybe she's unimpressed with our latest content.
Maybe. Oh well. So every year Kristen does this year in review. She prints it out and she fills it in so she can compare every year to see what some of her favorite things to do throughout the year, some of her best moments, and goals or things that she wants to accomplish later in life. So So she looks at those and compares them every year. I did this once a few years ago. I don't know what happened to mine. I think I did it 2 years in a row. I did it 2 years in a row. It was a long time ago. I wouldn't have thrown them out, so I don't know where they've gone to, but they're somewhere. But we all did it this year, and we thought we would compare some of our.
And I want to point out that I started making these for Greg's girls, so some of the questions are more geared towards children, but I left it in because it's fun. It is fun. Some of my favorite ones to compare are the favorite things.
Oh yeah, so you get like a kind of a glimpse into who you were and what you did every day and what you enjoyed doing, like the daily, like the little things, like what did you like to wear, things like that.
And I've been doing this since 2017, and
it's still the same thing. Sweatpants and hoodies.
For 2 years I wrote favorite things to wear, and I wrote in front of wear, not wear, shoes and bras. That still is the same.
Yeah, I'll second that one. Yeah. That's a good point. And put in like, I don't wear these.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. I thought that was one you specifically wanted to talk about in that list. In my listen to, things I like to listen to, one of the things I put was silence.
Silence of the lambs.
The sound of silence.
The sound of the birds.
The sound of silence.
The sound of music.
Anyways.
I am 16, going on 17. I'm going to delete this podcast.
I was gonna say, you're gonna be a co-host. I was gonna, never mind. Just start over.
Starting the new year off with a bang.
Or flop.
Anyway, a flip-flop. Okay.
What's something you learned to do had never done before?
Macrame, rehabilitate a raccoon, having a booth at a market, podcasting, and opening my heart.
So you only learned how to macrame this year?
I fucked around with it a little bit before, but I have never gone in, like I've never made a plant hanger before this year.
Oh, okay.
I've made like the crystal older things before.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Something I had never, so many. I don't even know. I hitchhiked this year. I had never hitchhiked.
I did in high school.
I never did because I
That was
always
also the first time I
like,
smoked a cigarette. We found a pack on the side of the road.
this is now a podcast about Kristen. So you found a package of cigarettes on the road and that was how you smoked your first one?
Yeah.
I mean, teenagers, yeah, for sure. I mean, people would probably still do that in like their adulthood, who do smoke. It's been a long few days, okay?
Yeah. I second that.
Not only did I hitchhike in probably the safest place in this entire country.
She did it naked.
God, no, I also had picked up a hitchhiker this year in a place they say don't do it. But that relationship, I actually forgot to write that down. But I had met this girl through that. I picked her up, and she ended up staying at her place for a few days, and we still talk. She went up to Alaska for a while. Like, I think she might still be there. I don't know. This girl's amazing. She literally just saves up, travels around until she runs out of money. She goes back, works for a bit, then does the same thing like over and over again. And like she travels, like she manages to do the most amazing things. Like it's so inspiring. Absolutely love her. Yeah, so that was a really cool experience to just like try like the one day I'm gonna pick up a hitchhiker.
I remember you telling me that you wanted to.
Yeah, everyone is like, that's so weird. I'm like, nope, today's the day, and then I did, and then I ended up making a connection for life.
100% Greg has picked up a hitchhiker before. I'm sure he's probably told me the story a few times, but my brain's mushy, so I don't know today.
I don't have a brain.
My brain fell out of my head.
It just kind of like dripped out of my
Oozed.
ear the other day. Yeah, oozed. It oozed out of my ear the other day.
Yes.
What's the biggest lesson you learned this year? I feel like yours is gonna be, can I guess yours? Heart opening.
I did not write that down, but it
Okay, what was your biggest lesson you learned this year?
experiencing true loss and heartbreak.
Is that a lesson though?
Yeah.
How is that a lesson?
I guess the lesson was keeping my heart open during a heartbreak. I'd never experienced, it's a lesson in, those are like life's lessons. Like the main pillars of life.
There are a lot of lessons in
Love,
grief and loss, for
yeah.
sure.
And I didn't want to get deep into it.
That's fair. No, I get it.
What was your biggest lesson?
When a big wave is no, I'm just kidding. No, my biggest lesson was that my worth is not dependent on like my accomplishments, how good I am at something, especially if I just started it. Like, come on. And where I've been. My worth does not depend on what I'm doing.
My answer for last year's was way better.
Than mine or this
No,
year's?
like it was similar in your answer more. So I wrote that magic is real.
Oh, so good.
Because it fucking is, guys. You
Magic
don't
is
believe
so
it?
real.
You can't sit with us.
You can't sit with us if you don't believe that magic is real.
And if you don't talk to people who aren't there, like your
If you
guides.
like to talk to your spirit guides, you can sit with us
On this
year.
wild ride.
We're really getting into the groove. This is literally what we do. We do sing a lot.
Yeah.
So now that we're doing it on the podcast, I think that's a good sign.
I think that just shows us who we truly are.
Shows us. Shows our listeners.
Yes, not us.
Shows you.
Not us.
You.
You're like, we are.
Okay, what was one of your most memorable moments / days of the year?
One?
Just one.
Oh.
There's so many. My area of that answer is full. Like there's no room.
Oh. I think spending the weekend, my most memorable moment was the weekend that Messy's mom came, and it was me, Greg, you were here, Amanda, Bear, Messy, and Messy's mom, and it was... No! No!
Apologies.
Yes, we have security on high alert.
Yeah, where's Ingrid? She's usually...
They're in the attic.
Oh.
So,
They were in trouble for meowing at us constantly.
harassing us. That's why we have the security.
Doesn't really work for the inner child. Inner children here.
So, I was saying that weekend when we all spent it together, and it was Messy and Bear. They were kind of getting to know each other, and Messy was...
That was so cute.
She was so mean to him, and just...
And he would like creep up behind her, and then she would like turn and he'd like,
And then she'd be like, "Rawr," and
then he would like hop away,
and then we'd go out, and then she started following him too.
Yeah. And then he'd get close, and then she'd like hiss at him.
She was playing hard to get.
Yeah.
She catfished him. So yeah, that was my favorite. One of my most memorable.
I love that one.
It
That's
was the best.
beautiful.
It was just the best.
Mine has nothing to do with you or the raccoon.
That's fine. It's understandable.
Mine, this is just one of them. There's so many. But my friend and I, we were traveling around Vancouver Island before. I was dropping her off at the Vancouver airport, and we went up to like the northern tip of Vancouver Island, and we walked in just like 2 kilometers to this beach where you can camp like wherever. And we just brought like a couple things. We're like, oh, we don't need much. Like, it hasn't rained our whole trip. It's been good. So we get up there, we're like, do we need to put the fly on the tent? And we're just like, maybe we should just in case. So we put the fly on it, and of course instantly it starts to rain. We're like, whatever. We end up, later when we go to bed, we get woken up in the middle of the night by this massive thunderstorm, and they're not known for thunderstorms along the coast right there. And it was just the biggest thunderstorm, and it was like so dark there. And then you just have the most lightning I've ever seen in my entire life. And like I wasn't scared at all. It was just like this magnificence, like it was the awe of like of Mother Nature being so beautiful, just like the thunder and then the lightning, and you could see the mountains around us and along this beach. And it was just like we climbed out of the tent and we're just like standing there, and it was raining, not raining too bad. Once we got back in the tent, then it started pouring like crazy, but it was just such a cool experience. And there was actually someone on the beach. It was a father. He had his 2 young daughters with him, and we're like, good for him, like bringing these girls out and getting them used to like this camping. And apparently the next morning when we talked to them, the girls were a little scared, but it was so sweet, and it was such a cool experience.
I love when Mother Nature is just so amazing that it almost brings tears to your eyes. Like just how the beauty, it just makes you want to cry.
We were like laughing because we're like, is this real?
That is something that's heart opening.
Yeah. It was. I think about so many heart openers this year. That was just one of them. It was one day.
I think I should change. Heart opening was probably the biggest thing I learned this year. Because it was throughout.
Yeah, you learn that through having Bear and then the loss of him, and then the grieving. Like you've.
Don't mind me. I'm just gonna change my answer
and make some adjustments.
Heart.
Yeah, I love doing these. What was your favorite? What'd you put down for your favorite things to eat this year?
Grapes and cherries.
That's boring.
It's oh my gosh! It is the most delicious thing in the world.
Grapes.
Grapes. Oh, Concord grapes. I could live off fruit. So and cherries.
Oh, I do love fruit, but
I miss cherries. I wish I would have planted a Kristen cherry tree this year.
Because it was your name?
Partially. Not gonna lie.
What is I told you my answer, but what was one of the great compliments you received this year?
Authentic as fuck.
Oh,
and
that one.
Greg and Jody, it was kind of like she was saying that she sees me as like so authentic, and I don't know, I didn't expect that. Like I try to be like, I feel that I'm authentic, and that was definitely something that improved over the year, is not giving a fuck. One of I could do a whole list of lessons that Bear taught me, like not to.
And then also coming from someone who's also so authentic themselves.
Yeah.
Like how cool is that? I'm getting like chills because like that's.
It was such.
I love it.
And that was just at their Christmas party. Yeah, so recent.
I got told I'm weird and I liked it. Also, Chris told me that I think I have FOMO, so I'm like, oh, I want to go do everything and experience everything like all at once. And she's like, you've literally lived a whole entire life this past year. And I'm like, oh, putting it into perspective that I have done a lot. So I wrote that down. Yeah. In my own time, at my own pace. That is like one of my, we should have like an affirmation from the year. Add that for next year. So many.
Is there any questions you weren't able to answer?
No, I filled every single one. I think the goals part was hard for me since I don't really have, I don't have goals. No, like I have things that I want, but right now I'm not like actively working towards something. Right now I'm just focusing on being present, which I guess could be a goal itself.
I feel like a lot of people, that is their goal, to be more present.
I feel like I'm pretty decent at that. I just maybe it's I don't know. I have things that like I want to do this year. It's not that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna start working on them right now. It's like, no, this year this is some of the things that I am going to do. I'm just not. It's not the time to do them right now. You know what I mean?
What's okay? This isn't on it, but like, what's your theme for this year? You kind of basically just.
I like that. The theme for this coming year. It's hard because I have so much like conflict within me about trusting the process, but also going after and like doing the things that I want. So, but I'm also like trying not to force things. So I'm not really. I don't know what the theme would be, because part of me is like, I'm gonna go travel and do all these things, but at the same time, maybe my theme needs to be relax and like trust that everything will come in its own time. Maybe that's what my theme should be. Just chill.
Hang out with your wang out.
Exactly. It's exactly
That's
what
the
I was
theme
thinking.
for the year.
Hang out with your wang out. What would your theme be?
Honestly, the word that's coming up is action, but I'm like, is there a different fucking word for action? Because, and not like in more of, I want to publish a book, I want to take a couple courses, and I want to invest. So like, it's honestly very action oriented, but I don't
Moving forward momentum. Compound interest.
Yes, let's use that one.
Our theme for the year is hang out with your wang out and compound interest.
And we hope that inspires you.
Yes.
Thank you for listening. I feel like I'm good with this. I don't really feel the need to share anymore.
You didn't finish this.
I know, I didn't really know the biggest problem I solved. I'm always solving problems.
I feel like I didn't really solve any problems.
I learned how to spell vacuum.
Well, you learned something.
I did.
I put some of the biggest problems I solved were things that I was conflicted on. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Do I do this? Do I this? And it was ultimately, I just made a decision and then it worked itself out.
Indecision is like the biggest cock blocker of progress.
Yeah.
So just
and
make a fucking decision.
And I'm literally always there. Actually, so the biggest problem I solved, I put housing times 10, meaning I had to solve the same problem like 10 times because I challenged myself to do so. I would challenge myself with like forcing myself out of housing or going somewhere where there wasn't a lot of option and seeing what I could manifest. And it's so scary. I did it so many times that I'm like, I know it works out. It works out every single time, and it did. It always worked out. And I thought that was really, really cool how I had built that up from the previous year. And I started out with in April. I left the interior BC and I only had like $1,000, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to Vancouver Island and I'm just gonna like see what happens and I'm gonna find housing. And I ended up having the most beautiful experience with I couldn't have asked for a better place to stay. Like,
And not only that, you had so many people telling you good luck
oh my god,
finding a place.
so many people are like, don't go down there, like everyone's miserable, it's so expensive, you'll never find anything, you'll never. And then once I got there and I was staying with a friend and like in my car, only for like 2 nights, and I didn't even have to spend it the full 2 nights there, I just chose to. Everyone was like, oh, you'll never find it anywhere with a dog, like there's no dog friendly accommodation. And but I did. I'm like, I'm not worried, I'll figure it all out. And I did. I ended up living on the beach for the cheapest rent and the most beautiful place. I had a private bedroom and I ended up having roommates who became soul family. Like, I'm getting chills thinking about how well that worked out. So trust the process. Having faith is huge. I feel like New Year's podcasts are the same thing of like birthday podcasts where I don't listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, oh, these are the biggest lessons of the year. I just want to learn. Like, I just want it. I think it would be more entertaining if people were like, these are the stupid things I learned to do this year. What's one stupid thing besides spelling vacuum?
Excuse me. That's not
Sorry.
stupid.
What's one silly thing you learned this year? You're like, why the F did I not know how to do this?
Well, I learned how to juggle, but it wasn't this year, and that was because I learned that it helps your eyesight. So I mean,
I don't know if it counts if it wasn't this year. I'm just kidding. It doesn't matter.
it's something silly, kind of dumb. I mean, it helps. I can catch things that are falling without even thinking. I have very good eye-hand coordination.
I used to think I was horrible, and then I don't know. I think
you're horrible too.
Thank you. You're so sweet. I'm gonna add that to my favorite compliment for next year. No, like I used to think I was so bad at like all the sports, and I don't know where that came from. If someone like told me I was bad at them, or if I was just like, you know, I hadn't ever done it, so of course like I'm not great at them to start. And then I don't know, just so many things this past year. I'm like, why do I think I'm bad at this? Like, I'm gonna do it, and then I'm like, oh, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so weird. It's all the things that you think that you can't do, like, oh no, like, I can't do that, I can't do that, and then you're like, why do you think that?
Mm-hmm.
And then you do it, and you're like, don't put any pressure on it, just do it for fun, and you're like, oh, this was great. Maybe I'm not the greatest, but I had fun, and it wasn't like I was as bad as I thought I was, or whatever.
It's nice when you're doing things and don't need to be the best at it. Like, you don't have that attachment.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It makes life so much more fun.
It's one of my
everything so much more fun.
That was one of my hard lessons this year, which kind of was my worth does not depend on that. So I have a Capricorn moon, and my friends with Capricorn moons, they have the same thing. We talked about this. Like, we would try something, and we just need to be good right away. And it's like, why? Why do we need that? So we have to, like, actively let go of that while doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so interesting that, like, some people don't have that. They don't have that. And then other people, that's just so deeply ingrained. But everyone has their own thing. One isn't better than the other.
2 is better than 1.
3 is better than 2.
3 is a crowd.
4 is a crowd.
4
3,
is...
you can solve arguments because you have the odd person.
4
2
is Tris.
No, 4. Tris is 6.
No, but 4 loves Tris.
4 loves
Okay.
Tris.
Okay, that's kind of an inside joke, but if you've seen the movies Divergent, you'll know. I think. Or we made it up that he whispers her name. I'm not sure.
I'm sure he does. I will have to watch. I don't really want to watch the whole movie though.
Me either. Greg wanted to, and I'm like, I've seen it too much.
I'll let Greg watch it and find the spot.
He calls me Tris, is kind of why.
Yes, Tris. Makes sense.
But only when I whisper to him.
Messy's 7. Bear was 5. 4 is 4.
Yeah. So.
Do you have anything else that you wanted to add?
Nope. I think I would like to end this concession stand.
Try to buy some lemonade. Okay.
And then we could do, because we have a few different things that I'm not going to say that we're going to do in case we don't.
Oh, I know.
Courtney
totally
was
did that.
sick.
I got horribly sick over the holidays, and I haven't been that sick since.
A lot of people have been. Not me. Winner, winner, chicken. Okay, I'm done.
I'll cough on you.
I don't care. I won't get sick.
I won't get sick. Well, I had a lot to release.
I guess I have released a lot.
So have I, and I'm done with it. No more. I'm done releasing.
Thank you soul. Thank you, body. Thank you,
Listeners.
my emotional body. Please.
My emotional body, please leave. Okay. I'll have that too. Thank you.
Is that what you're
guys.
ordering at our concession stand?
Yes, I would like to have my emotional body taken away with a side of fries. Thank you and goodbye.
And kombucha.
If you would like to support us,
Did you write? You should write kombucha.
it's already full. I can't put anything else in there.
Even though you don't eat kombucha, but I mean, it's still, you should write drink and then kombucha.
I did think about that, but
She thought about kombucha, but she didn't write about it.
that's our relationship. We just think about each other. Anyways, if you would like to support us, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/triggeredpod. Or you can like, subscribe, share, or don't.
Or comment, you know.
Email us, raccoonsinastrology@gmail.com. But we will not hold it against you if you do not do any of those things.
I'm trying not to break out in song right now.
What song?
I don't remember the first line. That's the only reason I'm not singing it.
Okay, well.
Oh, if I said you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me?
For some reason, I thought you were going to start with, if I had $1 million.
It wouldn't go very far.
So, would be helpful.
Yeah. I mean, it would go far because we'd invest that shit. Which in the future, we might do a podcast on investing because we're amateurs and we're learning.
I'm not completely bored by it yet.
It's not the worst. It's because we're in our 30s now. 30, flirty, and learning
boring.
how to do our taxes.
30, flirty, and boring. I'm just kidding. Okay.